Hello, fellow mortals, and welcome to Death, the podcast about death, dying, and how it relates to us, the living. My name is Jordan Balgis, and as always, I am joined by the lovely
Jasmine Rayburn.
And really hungry Rob.
and really hungry Rob.
Always hungry.
Oh, I don't have
How you guys
snacks.
doing?
Good,
Doing
yeah.
good?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Been a couple weeks away for us.
Mm-hmm.
You guys as listeners won't have noticed because we're so good at backlogging content.
Yep.
But yeah, we took 2 weeks off. We're
little break.
all rested and relaxed.
Yeah, we all had like a little holiday. at
Yeah,
some
more or
point in
less.
there.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been good. Been pretty good. What are we talking about today?
What are we talking about, Jasmine?
Today we're talking about dead hand control. So that's conditional wills and what is the technical term? Yeah, conditional gifts and wills. So basically...
And what does that mean?
Basically, you can have this money or this property or this item if
You do this one
you
really
do these
specific
things.
thing.
Yeah.
If you spend a night in this haunted house,
Yeah.
one night,
If you spend
that's
a night
always the thing.
in great-grandfather Olaf's haunted mansion,
Yeah.
you get
Yeah.
the deed to said mansion.
And you survive, you and your other group of 6 other teenagers.
You and your group of sexy, barely 18-year-old friends.
Yeah. Yeah, make sure
You get
do
to
not
all stay there.
don't have any premarital sex or do any drugs or
Don't-
you'll
yeah.
get murdered for sure.
Yeah.
That's right in the
Absolutely.
will.
Make sure that you're the nerdy brunette girl
Yeah.
with
yeah.
the thick rimmed glasses, because she seems to be the one
yeah,
that gets
this-
out fine.
this bitches always live.
Yeah,
the
the smart
Daphne.
bitches always.
Daphne?
live. Yeah, Daphne.
Or is it Thelma?
Velma.
Velma.
Daphne's the
Daphne's
ditzy one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It does sound like the nerdier name, though.
Velma. Yeah, 100%. Velma. I thought Velma was the hotter one.
Me too.
I wasn't into because I'm not into girls like Daphne. Wasn't my thing.
The kind of preppy blonde.
No. Well,
And
she was
plus-
a redhead, right?
Was she redhead? Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
she was.
But it just didn't do it for me because she always got herself into trouble.
Well, and she was with Fred, so you just knew that there was no
Yeah.
chance anyway.
Yeah. Whereas with Velma, there's always like a spark of hope.
It's got
Yeah.
a couple of nice guys
Yep.
on the table here.
Although I'm pretty sure Velma was gay.
Yikes.
You think Velma is a lesbian?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I could see it, but maybe she's bi.
Yeah, that could be. I shouldn't make any judgments.
You shouldn't.
Shouldn't make any
Yeah.
assumptions.
It's current
Wow.
year, Jordan.
Yeah. You're right.
Anyway,
Scooby is gay too.
Scooby?
Sure, why not?
All right.
Him and Shaggy.
What about Scrappy Doo?
I think he's asexual.
Yeah, he's more like a mythical creature.
That's fair.
He's also what ruined the cartoon.
You think so?
Man,
you guys
I
have some
love-
like really developed opinions in Scooby Doo here. Like,
I loved Scrappy Doo. Everyone says that about Scrappy Doo, that he ruined.
Yeah.
I loved him.
Really?
Yeah.
I
don't
am
know.
not really
something
a fan.
fresh. Oh man.
Ruh-roh, Raggy.
Oh boy, Scoobs. I don't know about this.
Like zoinks. So yeah, conditional wills. So like, give me like a more realistic example.
Basically, like, you can inherit the property as long as you live in the property.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, most of these things, like, basically, they just don't hold up because they can be void very easily if you're not specific enough.
Right.
If it's impossible to do or
you don't
unenforceable.
get it like notarized properly.
Well, even if you do get it notarized properly, if there's like, so some of the, like it's pretty difficult. So
yeah, there's a lot of text on that phone there, Jasmine.
yeah, I know. It's
Yeah, there's
really-
gonna be a bit
It
of
was written by a
legalese.
notary,
Yeah,
so
a
it was
whole lot of
really
legalese.
like, everything is void if it's illegal, obviously, or contrary to public policy.
Yeah, you can't put anything in there like
Yeah.
you inherit this car if you snort all the coke that's left
murder
in the trunk.
murder my ex-wife / your mother
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah, that obviously would be void. If it's not specific enough, if there's any room for, basically, if you could challenge it at all, it just falls apart
Okay.
for most of them.
So what happens in that scenario then if you have these conditions, like if you were leaving a property
Basically,
or
if it's
something
like,
that?
oh, you have to, first of all, if you bequest a property and you're like, this person has total autonomy over this thing, unless they leave the property or unless they get married to a Jew or something.
Jesus Christ.
Some of them are like that. Some of them
No,
are
I'm
really
sure.
like that. Like, basically, it was just they just act as if the condition's not there.
Huh.
So you just get the property.
You just get
then.
the property.
That makes
yeah.
sense.
You can't like give someone full control over a property or basically give them the property and then take it back.
Especially if
No,
you're
you're dead.
But you can, or like have it go back into the estate or something once that happens. But you can go like, this person doesn't get my property until they turn this age, or
That seems like a more common one, right?
yeah, definitely like trusts.
It's more like a
yeah,
trust.
an age thing. I think that's got to be the most common, right?
Yeah.
You get this amount of money when you're 18 or whatever,
Right.
or you get this amount of money, but you can only put it towards schooling.
Yeah,
or
you
something
can,
like
you get
that.
this amount of money, but only after you finish law school or something
Yeah,
like that.
or if you have like a child with addiction issues or something like
Okay.
that, and you don't want them to have access to their inheritance until they're cleaned up or something like that.
Just
That's
conditionally make them do rehab.
that's something you can that's something you can communicate to your trustee,
right.
and they don't have an obligation to tell.
Oh, interesting.
So there's this one really interesting case where this woman, she left, basically her whole estate would be divided by however many of her living nieces and nephews attended her funeral.
Oh.
But she didn't say that.
But
in
she
the-
But she didn't tell the kids.
no
She
one
told
told
the
the kids that.
trustee. And basically only one person showed up to the funeral. And then all the nieces and nephews were like, what the fuck? Like...
And the
and they
trustee was
argued.
like,
they argued that
right
it was
here.
like it was like impossible for
It
them to meet
says.
the requirements or something, and they lost because because she didn't have an obligation to tell them what that condition was.
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting.
The one person that went, he lived in the same town as her.
I was gonna say that would be kind of shitty if you just couldn't make it because you like.
Yeah, but at the
distance or
same,
whatever.
like that was her wish. It's just like if you want
No,
it,
it's true. Yeah.
come get it, and I think that's totally reasonable. If
I
that
think
was
so. I think that's like what a stab from beyond the grave.
Yeah, I think that's what a lot of these kind of dead hand requests are.
Yeah.
Just like slaps in the face, you
Yeah.
know, like or people who are just kind of really controlling in life, just trying to find a way to maintain that control.
Just be controlling and overbearing one more time.
Slaps in the face with that dead hand.
Yeah.
And it's like you can't like put a ban on marriage. So if somebody was like, oh, if you get married, you don't get this inheritance or something like that, you can't do that, but you can do like a partial, like, so you can do like if you get married to a specific person, or
if you like marry, like if you're a gay man.
Well,
and your
no, because
family's
that's
super religious.
that fits under like hate crimes and stuff like that, right? Like that's just,
so you couldn't say like you can't marry.
it's really
a man.
tricky. There are cases on
if
both
you're a
sides
man.
where it's gone through, and there's cases where it hasn't. So
So it's more like a specific individual. Like I don't want you marrying.
Yeah.
this-
I think that's
Girl
illegal.
that
But
you
if you were just more like, I don't want you won't inherit this if you marry before,
Well, that like if
after you're 25 or something like that. I think that's more
If there-
enforceable
if
than
there's
just
cases,
saying you can't marry.
If
Yeah.
there's cases where they have been able to pass through these like hateful dead hand control things, and there's other cases where they haven't, doesn't that kind of fuck up the statute of limitations?
Yeah, well, it's just like I said, they just kind of do their best, and they really don't have any teeth. Most
And
of
it's
them.
it's like a case by case thing.
Basically, like there was like so many.
Yeah.
The one case where the marriage thing was valid or was upheld was this person was basically like, if you remarry, you don't get inheritance, and it was from the spouse.
Oh,
You know.
from like the widow or
Yeah. Like you get, yeah. Which
Huh.
I don't agree with. I still think it's shitty.
Yeah, that'd be a real shitty thing. Why would you
yeah,
do
that
that?
would be a shitty thing to
People
do to
used to
your
be
widow.
able to like, a lot of these are really old. People are kind of not doing this as much anymore. People still, trusts are the thing now, right?
Yeah, that makes more sense. Like if you're an ailing parent and your kid isn't of age,
Yeah.
that makes a lot of sense to me. But
Or if
I mean, I
they're-
guess a lot of these, like you said, a lot of these are historical and not super common. So
Yeah, I guess back in the day, people were way up in each other's business a little more.
Yeah.
And especially family and like how
Yeah.
a person needs to live and what,
yeah,
Yeah, and it says right in the source that I'm using that we'll post, basically that a lot of the stuff that passed wouldn't pass today, you
Yeah.
know? Like it's just like there are some that are just like kind of impossible. Like if you have to live in this house for as long as you can have this house as long as you live in it, or as long as you run the farm or use this land for
Yeah, I
specific
feel like that would probably
purpose.
be a common one too with farms and stuff like
Yeah.
that, right? Like you can
wanna
inherit this,
keep it
but
in
you
the
have
family.
to. Yeah.
But things change, you know. Say if you're like in a country or something and the government changes, suddenly you're like in a communist nation, things
Yeah.
like that. It's unenforceable, right? So
Yeah.
if anything like that could happen, it's too vague to be enforceable, and then it's just void for uncertainty. So most of them that are void for uncertainty.
I was trying to chew my headphone cable.
Hey! Just smack him in the face.
There's a cat here.
He's got caught in the cable.
Just keep it up here so he can't
Yeah,
chew on
it's
it.
okay.
Anyway, what were you saying?
Lucifer.
Yeah.
He is
So
Lucifer.
basically what I'm saying is there's like a lot of reasons why these things can be void,
Don't you dare bite.
but every once in a while one of them passes. And you know, it's kind of like an interesting case, but for the most part, conditional wills don't have teeth. And something to keep in mind as well is if you have, this is for people who are actually adults, not us.
Wait, what?
Yeah, this is for people who, if you write a will and you're like, I want so-and-so to have this, but your beneficiary designations don't match that, beneficiary designations trump anything you write in the will. So if you have like, say you have like a 401k,
Oh, right. So, yeah,
And you
not
get it-
us then.
yeah,
Right.
yeah, or life insurance.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
anything like that, and you have like your spouse as the beneficiary, and then you write a will after that, but you don't change that,
Oh,
your
okay.
ex could still get all your shit.
Shitty.
So it's just something to kind of keep in mind. I would definitely like to sit down and actually write wills with you guys at some point.
Yeah, I mean, I ain't got much to will away.
No.
No,
So-
me neither.
It'd be a one pager probably.
Yeah,
My
I don't
mom
really.
gets my stuff.
Yeah, I don't really know. There's
Yeah.
not. I don't have a lot of stuff to pass down, really.
No.
But if you were, say you were like, just like these are for like a lot of these are for like rich controlling people.
Yeah, totally.
Mostly rich controlling people do this shit. If you don't have anything to leave, you know, you find other ways to control people beyond the grave. This less paperwork.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair.
Yeah, and if you don't have a lot of money, you're not as invested in that money. I think, right?
Yeah.
To a certain degree, like
Not really.
Yeah, exactly.
people that have
It's
a
not an
bunch of money and
empire.
are very well off tend to be.
Well, the whole adage is people with money don't spend money. Mm-hmm. That's how they get money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there's been studies done and stuff like that that have proven that generally people with lower incomes are more generous with their money because they
Yeah.
understand and recognize how difficult that can be
Yeah.
for people, or somebody that's wealthy that hasn't really had to deal with that. That's why I'm going to keep it.
Yeah.
One of the
Everyone has a chance to get their own.
Yeah, exactly.
Why do they need mine?
Yeah, exactly.
there are some like interesting ones about imposing the gift beyond the age of majority. So a lot of them are just trusts for people until they reach 21
Yeah.
years of age. I think that's what Adam's mom did for him and his brother. It was they were 21 until they had any life insurance.
That's a good way to do it.
That's
Yeah.
that's the way to do it. You know,
You're still kind of a kid at 21, though. So
Yeah, it's
you
true.
could even make that age older, and it's like the kids might resent you for it. But once they've gained those proper financial skills, and then they get a big bunch of money, they're
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, I won't just like blow this on
you're just
a
a
new
little
truck
older.
or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're just a little older.
So I totally understand the
Oh yeah,
21, let alone 21.
21. I would if I could make it older, I would.
Yeah,
You know,
I'm sure you could.
Yeah, like 25.
Yeah.
You get to a point where it's like you've built up a little bit of debt so you can use it to pay that off.
Pay off the debt. Ooh,
Yeah.
surprise.
That'd be nice.
There's another interesting one that's maybe not applicable to like just the very rich, and that's also there's one where it's basically like if anyone challenges the will, then they automatically forfeit anything that they inherit.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah, so that's a condition that can be put under.
So if
so you could make it like kind of a tricky stipulation for the will. The
Yeah,
condition for the
and they
will.
don't have to know about
And
that,
then-
like the funeral thing, right?
Yeah, and then if they even try to challenge it, you can just say, sorry, that was another hidden condition.
Yeah.
You've revealed my trap card.
Yeah.
But it's just like, because like all they want is for people not to fight over their shit.
Right.
You know?
And like it's kind of, the onus is on them maybe before they die to be like, just don't fight over it.
Yeah.
Don't tell them why to not fight over it.
Yeah, just be like, listen.
Just don't fucking fight over it.
That's so foreign to me, the idea of, like, it would have to be some pretty ridiculous stipulations for me to...
Yeah, to challenge it.
Yeah,
in
for
some
sure.
way.
Yeah, I think we're all on the same page. I mean, right now, who knows how it will be if it happens, if we have, like...
Yeah, I can't wait
kids
till...
and we're older and
Yeah.
bigger in debt and...
Yeah, and like I'm just trying to think of
people are
like
crazy about that
I'm trying
stuff.
to think of like what my mom or dad or grandparents would put as conditions in their will, and I can't imagine it being anything so egregious that I would bring any kind of conflict
Yeah.
or need mediation of any kind.
I mean,
It's kind of like you do what the will says, and if it's really ridiculous, then it's like, okay, I'm
no thanks.
gonna probably not do this, and I'm just not gonna get whatever the
Yeah.
inheritance is.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that there is something really, like, I don't know, egregious about trying to control. I feel like gifts should be gifts. I always, even living, I feel that way. You shouldn't be like, I'm going to give this to you, but only if you use it like this.
Yeah, or like giving a gift, like, and then expecting something in return.
Yeah, like, you
It's kind
know,
of like-
parents do that all the time with their kids. Like, I'll pay for your university as long as you take what I want you to take, or,
Yeah,
things like that. And
Or like even at like a younger age level, it's like, okay, if you're really good, you get ice cream when we get home.
Yeah.
Shit like that.
And yeah, there's something that's just really sad about that. You
Yeah.
know, like that's your legacy. That's what you're gonna leave behind. That you were an asshole. But at the same time, you know, maybe their kids are assholes.
Yeah. I think...
That's a good point that
You
I didn't
know,
even
like-
think about. It's
That's
like
true.
maybe your kids are such dickheads that you have to put
these kind of
these
conditions
kind
on
of
because
conditions on it. Otherwise, they're just going to be at each other's throats.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or just
they
blow
probably
it
still
all
will
on
be.
stupid shit
Yeah.
or whatever. You know, it's like...
You can have this money only if you like pay off all your debt and
Yeah, exactly.
put it in a 401k. Like that to me is not a horrible decision for a parent to make for their child.
Yeah.
If they know they have really bad financial problems.
Yeah, if they're like
Yeah.
am $30,000 in debt because they
Yeah.
just bought a bunch of PlayStations and video games and shit.
Yeah,
like
they bought 200 PlayStations. What am I going to do with all these PlayStations?
That's the going rate. For
Originally, I just wanted to have a LAN party, but then it got out of hand.
There's not a game in the world that needs 200 players to
oh
play
my
it
gosh.
that I know of.
Surprisingly, the person that Jordan's going to talk about here, just his bequestment was approved.
Yeah, this is an interesting one. We'll get into it. I'm
excited.
This is the Great Stork Derby.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man.
Already, I just like that. That name of it is
Yeah.
great.
I forgot about this.
Yeah. So the Great Stork Derby was a contest held from 1926 to 1936, in which women. I'm reading this from Wikipedia, by the way, because I'm very professional.
Yeah, we're journalists. We're proper journalists.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the Stork Derby was a contest held in which women in Toronto competed to produce the most babies in order to qualify for an unusual bequest in a will. It's not the only weird bequest. It's such a weird word to say over and over again. That was in this will. They have another little example here that I just think was funny.
Bequeathed.
He gave a vacation home in Jamaica to a group of 3 men who all hated each other on the condition that they live in the estate together indefinitely.
I love that so much. It's like a sitcom.
Yeah.
But this is like so long ago.
This is a rich weirdo for
I
sure.
know. He's just an eccentric. Like back then, he was a millionaire, which is like today money, like a billionaire.
So that's like a lot more charming, I guess.
Yeah. So the guy's name.
So funny to me that he makes his friends who all hate each other. Do
I know,
this
right?
thing.
It's so great. His name was Charles Vance Miller.
It's a rich sounding name.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, you always
That's an
know
old money
when,
name.
when they go with the full middle name as well.
Yeah.
That's how you know when it's the 3 names and you have to say them all.
Yeah.
So
You know that guy had monogrammed sheets.
Oh yeah.
100%.
oh yeah, for sure. CVM.
Yeah.
So he was a Toronto lawyer, financier, and practical joker, according to Wikipedia. You think?
Practical joker from beyond the grave. The best kind of practical joke.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have any deal with any of the consequences.
Oh, you thought we were done? We're not done.
So he bequeathed the residue of his significant estate to the woman in Toronto who could produce the most children in the decade following his death. Litigation over the validity of the will was resolved when the Supreme Court of Canada held that the clause was valid. The court further held that the clause did not include children born out of wedlock or stillborn. So you had to be married, and the baby had to be alive.
Baby had to survive that decade or something.
Yeah, I guess.
Brutal.
Yeah.
Disqualified.
Disqualified.
Not only does your baby die, but then you...
Yeah.
You're out of the contest when you already have 6 kids.
Oh,
Yeah, no, yeah. That's the thing that I thought
what am I
of
going to do with all these kids?
when I first read this. Is like, all right, so 11
place.
families competed in the quote-unquote baby race. So 10 of those families
good old baby
just
derby.
ended up with a bunch of kids that they couldn't afford to take care of
Oh,
because they didn't get any
God.
money.
What an asshole.
7 of them were disqualified, but eventually Judge William Edward Middleton ruled in favor of 4 mothers: Annie Catherine Smith, Kathleen Ellen Nagel, Lucy Alice Timlick, and Isabel Mary McLean.
Those are all real poor names.
They all they each so there was okay, so they all had the same amount of kids. That's why. So they each received $100,000 for 9 children.
That doesn't seem like that much
It
for
was
this
a while ago.
this like modest
Yeah,
sum.
I mean, it was 1936, so that's.
I know,
they were
but
fine.
they're fine with that, I guess.
I mean,
It
I
just
would
seems
love
like it should be.
$100,000.
Yeah, I'd be into
Still,
that.
it just seems like it should be so much more.
Yeah,
Because
well,
wasn't he supposed to be like a millionaire? Or
I guess
something?
because they had to split it up, right? And I think this was just
Yeah.
like he also left a bunch of other money other places.
Oh, I thought this
is
was
the-
like his entire.
This is the
estate.
No, I think
remainder
this
of his
is- yeah.
Oh,
estate.
okay.
Yeah.
The remainder. That
Uh,
makes more sense.
And then 2 other women received $12,500 out of court in exchange for abandoning pending appeal. So they were appealing, and then they got a payout, basically. These women were Lillian Kenny and Pauline May Clark.
4-way tie. 9 babies
Yeah.
apiece.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like,
So
yeah,
the
as
runner-up
much as,
with-
as much as most of this stuff doesn't have teeth, every once in a while,
The runners up with 8
someone
kids.
gets
like, there must have
gets
been,
their way.
Yeah.
There must have been a couple moms that were runners up with like 8 kids, right? They were just like, "Fuck,
Yeah. Fucking brutal.
missed it."
Ah, they were probably gonna have
Should've
all those
been
kids.
fucking-
Anyway.
Like that's and like what do you do then? Do you just like, you're dealing with 8 kids, then you're poorer than you were to begin with because
Yeah,
you
but
went
people
after
were
them.
Think about-
fucking doing that shit anyway in those days.
Well, you also just think about
Yeah.
like, they had
There's
to
no
put their.
contraception, and everyone was Catholic.
You also had to think about what they had to put their body through because in 10 years they had 9 babies.
Yeah, you're
That's
pregnant for a
crazy.
full decade. That's another.
You're
thing to
pregnant
think
for the
about.
entire
for
decade.
A full decade,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
be pregnant because you're trying to get
Oh.
back as
Well,
quickly
you know,
as possible.
the older kids kind of
Yeah,
raise the
0
younger
refractory
kids,
period.
and I'm so glad that
Imagine the
I'm alive
husbands.
today.
It's so alien to me.
Yeah, well, it's terrifying.
I guess for $100,000 of 1936 money.
Again, probably doing it anyway. Like,
So this was all. So you said he died in 1936.
1926, and then
26.
36 was the decade.
Oh man!
Yeah.
So they were having all these babies during the Great Depression.
yeah.
Yeah,
Fuck.
that's another. Yeah, that's just another thing.
That's
on
another
there.
cherry on the cake for all these families with
They probably
8 kids
entered
or
when they
7
already
kids.
had like a bunch of kids. They were like, "Oh, I'm good at this. I'm
Well,
just
no,
gonna have
yeah.
a bajillion babies anyway.
Yeah,
'Cause I don't know how to
right.
stop it."
The 9 kids is only what they had during that decade. It doesn't count for the 5 kids they
They
already,
already
had.
had. Yeah, exactly. So it said here about Miller. I'm just on Snopes now. He was a student of human nature and possessed a perverse sense of fun.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, it was sicko.
His best jokes turned on others' greed and love of money, and his pet theory was that every man had his price. The trick was to figure out what it was.
So he's the Joker.
Yeah, basically.
He's
I
like
guess so.
he's like a 1920s billionaire version of the Joker.
He's like a mobster, basically.
Okay.
I'll just pay anybody off, really, if I
Yeah.
want to.
That's cool.
Kind of a fun way to live.
He's
yeah.
he's like
I mean,
he's becoming like the more we talk about it,
it's
he's-
evil, but
Yeah.
you know, I get it.
the more we investigate his life, the more he becomes a villain, like a comic book
Yeah.
villain.
Well, I think, I mean, and a big part of it, like why everything was upheld, I think, is because he was a lawyer, and so he
Yeah.
knew his way around
Okay.
this kind of stuff.
He
So
legalese his way through it.
exactly, like he knew exactly
Well,
how
and
to make this
it's
work.
like most of these are void because they're too vague. So he need to put like distinct parameters
Yeah.
because he had distinct parameters.
Mm-hmm.
You know that would be enforceable in a change of condition. You know,
It's just
he
so
had the rules written out.
like imagine if like Bill Gates tried to do that when he died.
Bill Gates would never do that.
I know,
he's
but
a
like I'm
good
saying,
guy.
like some wealthy motherfucker. Imagine if we tried to have a conditional will like
Yeah,
this.
that sounds like an
What would happen
Elon
today?
thing to do.
You think Elon would
Yeah.
do that?
Oh,
yeah. Yeah.
I feel like his conditional will
He
would be
thinks
like.
he's really funny.
Yeah, I feel like his conditional will would be something more along the lines of, you can have my vast wealth, but only if you launch yourself in a rocket to Alpha Centauri. And it's
Oh,
like,
God.
you got to take just you and your wife, and your guys going to be
Yeah.
Someone would fucking
your
do it,
kids.
too.
Kids
You-
are going to
you
be the
can-
people to reach.
You can have my mansion, but I've moved it to Mars. You have to, you have to
Yeah.
live there.
I've delivered my entire estate to Mars. You have to build your own rocket and get there.
Between this
First
period
person
of
to-
time and this period of time.
First person to use their own wealth to land themselves on Mars gets my estate on Mars.
Yikes. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all. It's like I just want a goddamn park bench. That's all I want.
Yeah.
I'm
I want my park bench to be in space, just floating through
Just
space.
floating.
Yeah. Orbiting the Earth. And like, you know how there's that belt of just garbage
Yeah,
satellites?
just random
I
space
want
trash.
I just want a bench in there.
Well, you know, you're spacewalking. You gotta get tired. You take a break.
Yeah. Ooh, all this spacewalking is giving me shin splints. Gotta
Would
sit
you
down.
do that? Would you like if you were offered a conditional will like that? Would you
Would I
participate?
one?
Have 9 kids.
the 9 kids
I
one?
don't
Or
think
Well,
I
you
could-
guys would be fine. I would say
Yeah,
that's a hard no for me.
Yeah.
I'd let my wife do it.
Yeah,
I'm not
sure.
confident enough in my sperm. I don't know if it,
You're like, I don't know if I could do it. Does
I
it
don't
have
know
to
if
be
my
mine?
guys are strong enough to handle that. But if she wants to try, yeah, well,
Yeah, people aren't made of the same
Pound it
stuff
out.
they were in the 20s, you know? Like,
yeah, they had them good baby making genes.
yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Because they had to, because everything was killing you all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I think our diets and stuff are a lot better. Our sperm's probably better as well.
You think
Yeah,
so?
sperms were I think sperm counts are just dropping
Yeah, that's what
every
I thought.
year now.
Maybe. I don't know. I
No,
guess
they
there's
are.
It's because of boxer briefs.
boxer briefs.
Yeah, that's why. I
Yeah.
guarantee it. Our balls are too close
Because
to our
they're-
body. They're too warm. Everyone's got to start going commando.
Go back
It's the
to just
only way.
No way, man.
It's the only way. Everyone's got to start wearing kilts.
I don't want that.
Get that proper
kilt I could do.
Get that proper airflow.
Just I don't want to wear anything with a zipper without any
I
underwear.
swear, it's the modern trend of boxer briefs.
I think maybe it's just microwaves. Everyone's got to stop making pizza
Cell
pops
phones.
and resting their nuts on
Cell
top of the
phones
microwave
in
while
their
they do it.
pockets all the time.
Yeah, that's a big one. I
Radio
think. I've
waves.
thought about that actually. Of like,
Radio waves just blasting your sperm
your little
producing,
guys.
whatever those cells are called in your testes. Anyway, enough talk of testicles.
Yeah, it's definitely true. Sperm count is dropping like crazy.
I knew it.
By how much?
It's boxers. By one boxer
I'm
load.
looking for the statistics, so
Load
I'm
of
not
boxer
full of
briefs.
shit here.
I haven't actually heard this before.
Yeah, it's a trend.
Data from 180. This is from GQ. 185 studies which
Gentleman's
examined semen
Quarterly.
from almost 43,000 men. It showed that the human race is apparently on a trend line towards becoming unable to reproduce itself. Sperm counts went from 99 million sperm per milliliter of semen in 1973 to 45 million per milliliter in 2011.
Holy shit.
We did it, guys.
That's a big drop.
We're
That's-
killing
yeah.
ourselves.
Yeah, that's a humongous
We
drop.
don't need to destroy the planet.
Yeah.
That's just the human race subconsciously giving up on
Yeah.
itself.
Yeah,
Let's-
we are half as fertile as the generation before us.
Yeah. So like our kids will be 1/4 as fertile
Yeah.
as our parents. And pretty soon it'll be like, 1 in 8 people are fertile enough to have
like,
kids.
I gotta have like a bunch of kids, I think.
Yeah.
I wonder.
Maybe I should have 10 kids. Shit.
But the thing is, so like even though fertility rates are going down, fertility science and reproductive science is
Improving. Yeah, for
improving
sure.
swiftly.
Yeah,
So
it's true, but it's
the more people that are having artificial inseminations and stuff.
Yeah, but that's just another. It's a rich person thing.
But that's also a symptom of us declining as
and us
reproductive
living to
beings.
be older and waiting till we're older to have kids as well.
Yeah,
For
'cause sure.
like I was probably the most fertile when I was like 16 or something, right? Like
That's
people
what they
just,
say.
Yeah.
That's why in the Middle Ages you married the
Yeah.
12-year-old girl in the village.
Ugh.
Start pumping out kids at 14.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as those eggs drop.
Just women have had
or
it
whatever.
so rough, you guys.
What are you talking about?
It's just-
Everything's fine.
That's just like the worst, you know.
Yeah.
Like you're just a child having babies from the.
Yeah,
oh,
that's
God.
your purpose.
Yeah, you're
that
a
was
child
in-
having
You're
more
just
children.
like a
you know?
farm animal.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't so long ago that was the case either.
Yeah.
I mean, just look at the topic we're talking about.
Yeah.
This
yeah.
crazy millionaire's scheme.
And they're like, yeah,
joke.
sure, why not? We don't have birth control. I was probably gonna get pregnant every time my husband
Birth
wanted to have
can
sex
what?
anyway. So, yikes.
I guess we'll just have sex once a year as opposed to sex once every 3 years.
Yeah. I think we should use our imaginations about
I don't
if we
have
were
one of
going to
those.
have like a fun condition on a will.
Imagination. Yeah, like what? Like you want us to brainstorm what our conditional will would be?
Yeah, just pretend that you're a
Okay, well,
huge
give me
asshole.
a
and
scenario. Like, who am I trying to leave my money to?
I think let's leave family members out of it.
Okay.
The
So-
people.
So if we had if we were basically Miller, if we
Yeah.
had a bunch of money and we were
Okay.
You could make
Some
people
crazy
compete for
contest.
something.
Okay.
Or do something.
I.
do
It
you
would
have
have-
one, Jasmine?
You
I
didn't
don't know.
prepare for your own question.
No, I didn't. I never do.
My God.
I just want you to do that.
Ooh.
I'll just ask the questions here. Like something, I don't know, like pick a community or something like that and be like, everyone who participates in this thing within this period of time gets a piece of this.
Okay.
Like maybe something environmental.
I kind of
like-
everyone saw Ready Player One, right?
No, I haven't seen that.
No,
Or
but
read the book.
you can ruin it for me. I'm okay.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
So it's okay. It's an okay movie. It's a really good book.
I heard the book was really good, and then I heard the movie was like, meh. So I'm not gonna.
So
watch
the whole idea is that there's this this really rich software designer who he basically he invents this virtual reality system that becomes so popular that people basically
live in it.
don't
right?
live in the real world anymore. They only really live in the Oasis, it's called.
Yeah.
Can't remember what Oasis stands for. But when he dies, he basically has this conditional will where if the first person to find, calls it his Easter egg.
Oh, right.
And like the first person to find like the 3 keys and find the Easter egg gets my huge, vast wealth. I can't remember what it is. It's like $700 trillion or something, and gets complete control of the Oasis, like the product.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like a big race. The whole movie and book.
So
is
there's a
big
huge
to that,
race,
right?
There's a huge race, and there's like a corporate faction that are called Sixers, I think, and they basically just hire people and tell them what to do, how to hunt, and they're all like very like they look like stormtroopers in the movie. In the book, I feel like they feel more like FBI agents or something, but it's all about these individuals helping each other against this giant corporation that has like limitless resources already that just wants, they don't really care about the huge sum.
They want the rights.
They want the rights to the Oasis because right now it's free.
And they want
And
to
they
charge
wanna
for it.
charge for
which
it.
is exactly what would happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
in
Like
that situation.
In the world, you have to pay for,
Amazon would get a bunch
Like-
of people together and
yeah, Jeff Bezos would
Yeah, exactly.
own the Oasis, of course. Like in the world of Ready Player One, you basically pay for the equipment to log into the Oasis, and then everything within that is basically free. And you gain currency in that world by playing in that world,
Yeah.
and living in it, and like doing jobs for people. Basically, it's its own economy, and the outside, the real world economy, has kind of just gone to complete shit, and no one cares about it anymore. The
Oh,
only
yeah,
people
yeah.
that care about it are these huge corporations. And the one thing that they could do to gain control over this population again is
is to
have
okay.
control of the Oasis. It's really good. And I didn't spoil it for you. That's just the premise. But I think something
That's
like
true,
that
yeah.
would be really cool.
Just like a game.
A game, whether it's a
Scavenger
video
hunt,
game,
winner
capture
takes
the
all.
flag. I want a global game of capture the flag.
That'd be really fun.
Basically a war, but without guns.
What about like
No weapons.
like wacky races? You know, like the old cartoon, the Hanna-Barbera cartoon.
Wacky races.
You had people. It's a race across the country, but everyone has ridiculous cars that
And they all have
oil
stupid,
slicks and shit like
stupid,
that.
quirky.
Nice.
Yeah, and you just do a big race.
That'd be cool.
Although I don't give a shit about race cars or anything like that, so that actually doesn't. I just like wacky races.
Wacky races would be good.
I remember those.
You could do like a rock paper scissors tournament.
Arm wrestling match.
I wouldn't want it to be like physical. I would want anyone to be able to win.
I would. Okay, here's
You know?
here's a good situation. You break down like the key 6 attributes of the human, and it's like I'm going by D&D rules here.
Oh, okay.
Strength, constitution, charisma, intelligence, wisdom, and a 6th one that I can't remember right now, dexterity. And you have competitions. You break up your wealth into 6 pieces,
Areas.
equal chunks, and then you have a
Have a
competition
content
for
for
each
each.
of those, and then 6 people.
Okay, so what would be the competitions for each of those?
I feel like strength would be like an arm wrestling competition.
Okay, something simple.
Strongman
Yeah.
competition. You
Strong, yeah. Even just arm wrestling, I think.
just pushing a
It's kind of
boulder
like
up a hill.
Yeah, there's little
mano y mano, and just have like a huge tournament,
Yeah.
Yeah.
huge like round robin tournament. Wisdom, intelligence would be like a test, like an actual IQ
Like
test.
a paper test.
Yeah, like an actual IQ test, I think.
Yeah.
Wisdom would be like, it's more about your intuitions, right? So it would be like maybe like a what's the matchmaker game where you have to like guess people's, you get to interview them a little bit and then you have to guess like certain attributes about them.
Oh,
You have to intuit things about other people. That's kind of what
like a guess
wisdom
who,
is.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, wisdom is tricky, right? Because you can.
Yeah.
It's hard to quantify what is wise versus just being smart
Yeah.
or knowledgeable.
Yeah.
Dexterity, I think it would have to be like a speed-based competition, but to do with like,
Like an American Ninja Warrior thing.
yeah, maybe. That'd be cool.
You know, you're going through like an
That'd be
obstacle
pretty
course.
cool. Or most extreme elimination challenge.
Yeah, yeah.
Ugh,
Just do an
I
obstacle
miss
course like
that
that for
version.
dexterity.
Oh, the whole thing should just be that. Just the winner
Yeah,
of like,
yeah.
That would be really
Maybe
so
I just
funny.
don't split up my wealth. I think like constitution, that's kind of like endurance. So like maybe like an ice bath challenge.
Oh,
Who
but
can
then
yeah,
they
that's
just
good,
do.
yeah.
who
What
can
if they
who can lay
die?
in
Thing.
ice for the longest?
Would you pay for the funeral of anyone who died?
Or you gotta like you
I
jump.
feel
in,
like
you
if
jump
you're-
in ice water and you spend 10 minutes in there, and then you get up and you run to a bed of nails.
Yeah,
And you lay
and
down
then
on
you
the
do
bed of
hot
nails for 5
coals.
minutes, and then you do
Yeah,
hot
you
coals.
would
Yeah.
have to have like definitive terms, otherwise it would be void.
Yeah, well, I'd work it all out with my team of lawyers before I die.
Yes,
Yeah,
of
of
course.
course.
Yeah,
Of course.
my team of lawyers who also, I have 6 lawyers, and each of them are also split up.
They're signed to each one.
They're assigned to each one. I have a very strong lawyer who knows lots. Who knows lots about lifting.
They're the bosses.
He can-
you have
yeah,
to defeat them at
he
the
can
end to
bench
get
like
it.
450. He's super strong. I have one that's super smart, one that's like a mom, so she's super intuitive.
Kind of sexist, but okay.
It's the truth, though. Mother's intuition does not lie. Mother's
That's it.
intuition
That's all it
cannot
takes.
lie.
Just be a mom.
be a
yeah,
mom.
Once your first child is born, you gain like a plus
shit.
plus
Superpower.
20 bonus.
Better get on it.
Instead of rolling
Feeling a
one
lot of
d20, you
pressure
roll
this
2
episode.
d20s. I don't know. I think I would do something like that.
That sounds funny.
Yeah,
I like it.
And like anyone can sign up for any of the competitions. You can sign up for all 6.
All of them.
I like it being a game of chance because I like the idea that really anyone could have it.
Just play craps.
That I would just have no idea, like, who would win it.
You just want like the population of the world to go
Yeah,
out and play.
I want
like,
a child
roulette.
to be able to play it. I want somebody who's got like severe
A
physical
child can play
disabilities.
most extreme elimination challenge. Why not?
Sure.
Throw them in there.
They would be eliminated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
That's what I mean. Like
extremely.
I like the idea of whoever signing up having equal odds.
I like the idea of it being.
That's like very hard to do, though, right?
Yeah, rock paper scissors.
But there is
you might as well just
there
roll
is
dice,
a
right?
tiny little strategy that you can apply to rock paper scissors.
That's true.
Yeah, if you want it to be completely random, you get everyone in the world to sign up, and then you just roll a 7 billion sided dice.
Yeah, or like use an algorithm.
What about like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory? because that's the whole
That
plot
is
of
the
that
total
thing.
thing. Yeah, that is the total thing.
I guess
yeah.
that is his conditional
gives
will,
out-
isn't it?
yeah, he
Don't
gives
die
out-
in my factory.
And yeah,
He
gives
just does
out
it
the,
while he's living. Yeah.
yeah.
go find the golden tickets, and then you get a tour, and then you find out at the end
Yeah,
that
that's
you
some
get the chocolate
diabolical
factory.
shit as well.
and all you got to do is survive being turned into a
So in
blueberry,
this
drowning in a chocolate
hypothetical-
river.
In this hypothetical,
That
would you
nightmare tunnel.
Yeah. Oh man, I love that.
It's the best part of the movie.
Absolutely.
And-
It doesn't match the tone of the rest of the movie
yeah,
at all.
and I think that says a lot about me. That I'm like, yeah, that's the part that.
I honestly think like that is like one of the spookiest movies, the original.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
up
I've
there.
seen it so many times, but
It's up there.
still-
It's
still
because
gives me
the tone of that
heebies.
movie is like so all over the place that you never really feel comfortable in its world.
Yeah.
When Gene Wilder plays the role of like an insane man
Yeah.
so well,
He's-
it's so subtle.
And that like flip from like really cheerful and stuff to just
So
losing
ominous.
his shit. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
You get nothing.
He's got a real Mel
Good
Gibson
day,
vibe to
sir.
him.
definitely. Yeah. Oh,
I don't think I'd ever
That's
compare
good.
Willy
You look
Wonka
like a
to.
bitch in heat. You guys remember that?
Yeah.
Mel, I'm not going to say the whole thing. 'cause
Yeah.
I literally can't. Some of the things he says,
yeah, it's
but
pretty terrible.
Mel Gibson is
He
an
doesn't
actual
he doesn't exist
monster.
anymore.
No, he does. He has 3 movies. He had 3 movies at Sundance, and they all did really, really well.
Oh fuck! I
Yep.
hate this planet.
Yep.
Yeah, he's back
He's back, baby.
Gross.
Yeah, baby.
for no reason.
It's the year of Mel Gibson.
Yeah, just what we needed. Just what we all were
What year did
missing.
Braveheart come out? 1990?
something like
This is
that.
1990. Take 2.
Yeah, Lethal Weapon just came out.
Yeah.
Braveheart.
Yikes.
I feel like Braveheart was 1990.
You see, like I'm kind of missed Mel Gibson, so saying goodbye to him I was like, sure, done.
I
Me
have-
too.
I was like, no,
Me too,
This
100%.
cost me nothing.
I think I would. I can't give up Lethal Weapon. Those movies are so good.
Some of them are. I still like Braveheart a lot, but at the same time, it's like I'm not gonna rush out to the the video store,
To the
Best Buy, and
video
go get the
store.
Blu-ray. Of,
Yeah. I also haven't seen any of the Lethal Weapons in a while, and maybe if I did watch them, I'd be like, I can't really.
The last Mel
Phase.
Gibson movie that I really, really enjoyed, and it was like right around the time of his big controversy. Like it was like the same year that he called that female police officer kitten tits or whatever.
Oh,
It was like that
gross.
same year it came out, I think, and it was Apocalypto.
Oh right, yeah.
I loved that movie, and then
I
all this
never watched it.
controversy started coming out around him. I'm like, I can't love this movie.
Can tell
anymore.
no one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so well directed,
Ugh.
and he doesn't act in it or anything. He's just a director and writer. But then
Maybe
it's like
that's better, I guess.
such like weird colonial overtones. And it's just like, you know,
Makes sense.
doesn't make me feel good watching it, but it's a spectacular movie.
Yeah, he's definitely one of those people where like even the stuff you haven't heard his opinions on, you can assume that you're like, oh, those. I'm sure he doesn't have good opinions about that.
Nope.
Just from the track record about everything else.
Yep.
Yeah, not that wholesome.
Too bad.
Oh well.
Oh
Is it-
well.
Do you have one? Something you'd like a contest besides the chance? Besides rock paper scissors?
Yeah. Or just a dice game, a global
I'm gonna
dice
tap
game.
into my vindictive bitch side.
Yeah.
little bit more.
Get something like really, really like diminutive. And, like,
I feel
makes people- something. I want a competition.
If
that
I
makes
was
people
like
feel small.
really like vindictive, I would leave something that was a pain in the ass to someone, like a
Yeah.
burden,
like a single person.
What if you just
like if I was gonna really like I would single someone out and then leave them something that's inconvenient for them, like
So what we're basically saying here is like the $1 million butt game.
no, more like a piece of property
Oh, okay.
that's impossible to manage or that would tie them up in paperwork for like 20 years or something like that, or like I don't know, like $4,000 but it's all in pennies or something like that, you know, so something shitty, you know, where it's like you got a gift and it's the worst.
I bought I'm gifting you this casino in Las Vegas, but they're trying to get it torn down. So good luck.
Yeah, now you have to deal with this mess.
Yeah.
Or there's a
You
bunch
have
of
to deal with the
lawsuits out on
mafia.
it or something, or
I'm trying to think of like really permanent things that somebody would have to deal with for the rest of their life to get like,
yeah.
I will give you my entire estate, but you have to tattoo my name over your entire body,
Ooh, that's a good one.
like every inch of it.
That is
But you
really
can have
good.
Wow.
$200 million or whatever.
That would take a long time.
Yeah, I mean, it would
A lot
take
of
a while.
tattoos.
Yeah. Something that would be painful like that. Like you have to get your tongue split or
mean, that
something
kind
and
of-
then keep it that way.
That
for
kind
like
of is
6
the $1
years.
million butt game, though, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like you get my vast wealth, but you have to tattoo my name over your entire
Between
body.
this and this date.
Yeah.
This is a question that me and my friends used to ask each other. We went through a phase where we would ask people this. It's weird, but
Hit me.
say, okay, so you could get, so we'll put it in the context of somebody leaving an estate or whatever, and it's $1 million, but you have to suck 1,000 dicks.
Okay.
Oh,
But you
that's
could
a
do
lot of
it
dicks.
over any time span,
Oh,
but you
man.
don't get the money until the end. Would you do it, get it over with, or would you stretch it out over like years or months or whatever?
Years would still be like, you could do 3 years and it'd still be a dick a day. Mm-hmm. So that'd be 1,000 different dicks.
And also, is it like, do you just have to put it in your mouth, or is it to completion?
It's to completion,
Oh.
but nobody gross. You don't have a problem with it. You are okay with like
You
Can it
can
be the
choose-
same?
dick
Can it be
or
the same
whatever?
person? Can
I
I
think-
pick a?
'Cause that's just a relationship,
It's gotta be
yeah.
1,000 different dicks.
Oh, yeah.
That's way harder because it was just like some really feminine looking dude with a little dick. And I could kind of like
You could always put
abstract
up a.
me.
You could always like put up a Craigslist ad, just like looking
That would
for
take-
micro
Like you
penises.
can
That would take
absolutely-
decades.
It's consensual. You can absolutely choose not to suck a person's dick, but it's 1,000 different people, 1,000 different dicks.
I don't know if I could ever meet that many people.
Yeah.
Well, in this
That's a
reality,
big
say
thing.
you're like they're coming to you and you're like, all right, I can,
Here's-
and
Okay,
they'll-
but they've
and
all
they'll-
been tested
Yeah,
and
and they'll be there.
everything's
You're not going to
cool.
get anything.
Here's the other problem with that question for me. I don't know if I'm very good at sucking dick.
yeah.
So like if it's a two completion thing,
Yeah,
I don't even
it's
know
like
that I
if
can
you
be
could
able
do
to get
it-
these guys there.
Yeah, like can they help themselves?
Are they
Or
gonna
do you,
want
Yeah, like do
me
you have
sucking
to?
their dick?
Yeah, like they're into it. They will come. It's going to take, there'll be varying times.
Fuck
I'm
me. I don't
assuming
like
you
this
discussed
question
the
at all.
intricacies of this.
Oh, we've had this conversation a
Hypothetical,
bunch of times.
yeah.
That's why I have all the answers to these questions because we've talked this
They're
out.
written out.
I don't like this at all.
Oh, it's making you uncomfortable.
No, it's just I love to be able to rise to a challenge. I don't think this is a challenge.
I would
don't
get
think
it
you
over
do
with.
No, I don't think
I
I-
think it would just be like on the weekends thing. You just do.
It would take
100
forever.
dicks on the weekends for 10 weekends, and then you'd be free, right?
I would just do like
100
You could definitely
dicks?
do that. Like, it really, yeah,
100 dicks.
yeah.
Like
And
every
if somebody,
Sunday.
it took more than like 5 minutes, they'd just be eliminated. And I would just,
So then you would just be like, all right, well, this is taking too long, and
yeah,
go to the next person.
would be worth it.
Okay,
For
yeah,
$1
that's a
million,
good strategy.
you'd have to suck 100
Yeah.
dicks
It's
every
interesting.
I
weekend.
think I would need more than $1 million though.
Sure, well, whatever. Yeah,
Yeah,
like, I think we would.
I think I would like at least $20 million.
It stemmed from,
'Cause
I
that's
think,
work.
originally the question was kind of how much money, and then I think the more interesting question is
1,000.
how would you do it?
1,000 dicks for $1 million is only $1,000 a dick. That's not enough.
That's still quite a lot for a
It's
dick.
not enough.
I don't know. I could do a
the
lot with
dick-
$1 million.
The dick to dollar ratio for me does not suffice.
But like I'm a married woman, so
Yeah.
it's got to be a higher amount, right?
Yeah.
And this would always be.
I feel like
I
my
would have to have the
know,
okay.
And
They-
Adam
they-
would be fine. Like, that's the other thing.
Yeah.
Like, there's no extenuating
in this
circumstances that are
hypothetical,
going to.
your significant other is fine with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, so caring.
They're
so
cheering you on
patient.
because they want that money, too.
Yeah. 50-50, baby.
Daddy wants a new
Yeah.
vacation home. I
don't
feel
know.
like so like everyone has a price, right? That's
Miller's thing.
that's
yeah.
Miller's whole
My kids
theory.
could go to
I feel like
university.
I would maybe
Yeah.
I would start considering it around $100 million.
Really?
really?
That high?
Yeah, absolutely.
For like below average blowjobs, I don't know, bro.
Yeah, I know. I'm fully aware. But like $1,000 a dick is not enough. You talk about $100,000 a dick. Yeah, okay.
It's really.
Yeah,
My price is much lower than yours.
Yeah.
That's
it's really
fine.
not that big a deal. Like.
it really is. No, for me it really is.
Aw.
But that's interesting,
It's
right?
one of
Everyone's
those
got a
things you just
different.
get
Yeah.
used to, like everything else.
I guess I would.
Yeah, you would. You
But
would.
I don't-
Anything
I've
you
had
do.
lots
Here's the thing.
I've had lots of straight friends, like straight male friends, say an amount that was way less than my like straight female friends.
Really?
Things like that. Yeah. Like,
I just
it's
love
funny.
money.
It's just like, yeah, I'll do it. I don't care.
Well,
They may also not have the experience.
yeah. Have they
too.
ever sucked a dick? I think that's the.
They don't know how
The question.
arduous it's going to be.
Your jaw gets all.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah. The jaw fatigue. I didn't even
Can
think
be
about that.
tedious.
That's the thing that like that's the.
There's
how
a physical
pushing it
toll.
really quickly,
Like
right?
I would just have this super muscular neck,
Your jaw just looks like.
just square jaw. Finally get a jawline.
Oh.
Very good.
Yeah,
like that's
I don't know.
That's work. That's
guys-
you're getting paid for work.
You guys say I'm gonna get used to it, but what if I don't want to get used to it?
yeah, you
I know,
can't,
I'd
you can't
never-
uncross that bridge.
Yeah, because then it's like, what do you do for fun after that?
Yeah, but
I just
would
don't
kinda
want it
ruin
to
it for
become
you,
a
I guess.
job, you know?
wouldn't yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, that's the risk about doing what you love for a
Yeah.
living.
yeah. What do I
true.
love? Sucking dick.
Someone loves it. Someone's
Yeah,
doing
hard
it.
pass.
And
I don't know, I
and
feel
they're
like-
making a lot less money.
Yeah,
There
no.
would be like weird ebbs and flows, right? Like I think after the 20th, you'd just be like, all right, well, I'm just doing this and getting over with.
Yeah.
But then maybe after the 50th, you're like, okay, fuck, this is
Need
getting
a vacation,
exhausting,
take a
you know?
weekend off.
But you could do it. That's the thing. Like I would probably just try and get as much done as quickly as possible.
Do they have to finish
until
in-
I'm like, okay, I can't anymore, and take a break for a while.
Do they have to finish like in my mouth or on my face?
I mean, that's
Can I just,
that's
like-
a gray
Because
area
pop it out and-
that's a big difference.
for sure.
That is huge,
and that's,
right?
Yeah, and that's a. I think that would be up
That's
to you.
I think that's the grossest thing for me.
I can't remember what
That's
we
the
decided
one
on that
thing
one.
that I
The
can't get
jizz
over
is
mentally.
that's
is
the line
jizz.
for you.
Another man's jizz.
Yeah.
I can't. Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna get a little bit in there anyways.
I know.
Yeah, it's gonna
that's,
happen.
I know, but I don't want the full load. Don't want it.
How much of this
I'm
are we
I'm
gonna put
grossed
in?
out.
Can we release this? Do we have an explicit tag on our
Yeah,
thing?
this is pretty
most
explicit.
most of our episodes are released as explicit because we swear a lot.
That's
Yeah, that's
true, we
fair.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just leave it. I'm just like, not specified.
Yeah.
And let's
Oh,
see if they
whatever.
flag us. I was
This
like,
one-
we were pretty good in this one.
Yeah,
We only
I
said
wanna-
fuck shit, pussy ass, dick.
I don't
28
I don't want to
times.
surprise anyone.
Yeah.
Like this lady
This one will be-
who's going to
one-
be talking to me for her article. She's like, "Oh, I'm just getting more into the podcast and I'll send you some questions to go over after the weekend." And I'm like kind of nervous. I'm like, I don't know if I really want you to hear it. Because she's like coming from this is really respectful place.
Yeah.
of, like holistic
Right.
end of life practices for women.
Ooh.
We're just trying to, reach out
was
to
like,
the kids, the youth.
Yeah.
The Ute.
Yeah, it's important
Yeah,
talking about it.
really is.
But yeah, this is just silliness. It's good.
That conditional
So
will.
that's my conditional will, I guess, is what I'm saying. That's
Okay.
what I would do.
That's what you do? You do the dick
Anybody,
thing?
if I had, say I had a, yeah, I guess that would be the race.
It'd be way
I
harder
have
if
$50
you were
million
like,
dollars,
50.
but
See,
I'd
50 is a lot closer to my
see,
number.
But then I'd break into the chunks, and it's the quickest.
Oh,
the
okay.
50 people like
Oh,
get to
yeah.
1,000 dicks the quickest.
Oh. Okay.
it would be much more challenging if you were like,
But I would have a
500 women eating them out to completion. It's like impossible.
You see,
That's
the-
true,
Like,
yeah.
that's the thing.
That
right?
would
I
be
think
much
that's-
more.
But
You could even do 20 and most people wouldn't get it.
Yeah, that's true. I'm coming from like.
I'm
I
pretty
would be-
confident. I'm pretty
Also,
confident.
I would be like,
there's
you know
not
what?
a
I
real
would
way
give
to
that a shot.
measure
That would
that,
be-
you know?
Yeah, that's the thing too.
The thing
right?
is, it's probably going to be harder to get 500 women to sign up.
Well,
For
I
every
mean,
guy
maybe
that
for
wants to
you
try
guys.
this.
Yeah.
yeah,
I think I do all right.
It's a lot easier. I think it's probably a lot easier to get just guys that want their
I
dick
think
sucked.
either way, the challenge would be much easier for me than it would be for either of you.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like
As
I
a woman.
feel like I got my oral game down. I think I could get.
But I'm also much less threatening because I'm a woman. So the chances of people,
How am I threatening?
because you're a man.
I'm so beta. I'm like Omega.
such a cuck.
I'm such a cuck. Don't women want cucks licking their pussy?
Yeah. Ugh.
What is this show?
Oh my god. I think I just like spontaneously became asexual.
Actually, what is
Oh,
this show?
I actually don't have a sexuality anymore. Rob.
So this is what the show is
Things
like
just-
after a break.
Yeah,
right?
things just got simple for me.
Well, there's 25 more minutes we can't use.
I
Great.
think we should leave the dick thing in there.
Okay.
Yeah,
They're
for
probably
sure.
going to cut out little bits of it.
That's fair. That's
So-
fair.
We did carry on.
Yeah.
It's on theme and
It's on brand. You're right. That is your wish to bequeathed. Bequeath?
Bequeath.
Bequeathed.
Anyway. Fuck. What's your... So yours was literally rock, paper, scissors. Mine is skill-based.
Yeah, I would say I would want some chance or like an
I guess yours
algorithm
is
or
also
something.
skill-based, Jordan.
Like a lottery. I like the idea of it just being a lottery.
And in my defense, it's more achievable than eating out 1,000 asses
Yeah, well,
To completion?
to completion.
yeah, that's like
That's... I don't know. Like,
That's-
how deep can you get your tongue in there?
that's just a fucking job. At that point, it's a job that you do. You're just a prostitute.
I don't know. Sometimes you put.
I don't
Sex
mean to say.
worker.
I don't mean to say just a just a sex worker.
Does that have to be
I
a
don't want-
dude's ass?
Oh,
I think
don't
that's
care.
easier because I think dudes' asses are more sensitive.
Yeah, it's true.
You
but
put a
they're
dick in a guy's
usually
butt, he
less
just comes
maintained.
Instantly.
Right away.
Is that a...
That's a fact.
Welcome
Yeah.
to Ass,
Yeah.
the podcast about eating ass and how it relates to us, the living.
Turns out it does a lot.
And if it doesn't, like you're missing out. You talk to someone.
I know we made the comment about death after dark about the other episode that we recorded at night, but this is definitely
I think this
Yeah.
is this is the first
After Dark.
episode of Death After Dark, and we're all sober.
Yeah.
I know.
Someone in my family, they had a journal that they kept, and every time somebody did something shitty, they would be like, "I'm gonna write this in my journal."
Oh,
So when they died, they had one of the children thought that they were being nice, made copies of the journal for all of them to read.
no.
Why would you make... I wouldn't do that even if it was like a totally positive journal.
Yeah, I know, right?
That's
but
a very private thing even after
gross.
you're dead.
yeah,
That's a shitty kid.
Because she was always like, I want people to read this journal when I die, you know.
Okay, so
Yeah.
she made that
So
request
she
specifically?
published it and put it on Penguin
and
Books.
gave it to all the siblings, and it was just full of the most hateful, vile, unfair,
Why would you do that
Cruel
to people after you're
shit.
gone?
ever.
Oh.
You know, and some people were deeply hurt because they had, you know, so much shit talked about them in it, and some people were hurt because they weren't even mentioned in it, you know, like at
Isn't
all.
that a good thing though?
Yeah, but it wasn't just bad stuff.
Oh.
And I guess it would also be very private things between you and this person that now all these people are reading because everyone's
Yeah,
reading the
but
same
also
journal.
just one person's perspective of how it took
Yeah,
place as
yeah,
well.
exactly.
And no way to be like,
A
this is how it
rebuttal.
really happened, or
Yeah.
like, this is, you know, and it was just like, so I've been thinking about that a lot and thinking of like, you know, conditions, you know, because they're like, oh, you get a nice write up in my journal as long as you do what I say or what I want.
You get my $1 million estate, but only if you publish
Yeah.
this fucking slam poetry that I
Yeah.
wrote about all of you guys.
I fortunately was away when this stuff occurred, so I didn't see
Were you in the book?
I have no idea. I never looked
man.
upon it.
You never got a copy?
I did
dare
not.
gaze upon it.
I think it was just the children that got copies, and
Yeah.
it's almost like become kind of a legend in my family. You know, these hate journals.
That's very interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like it for me when I'm thinking about dead hand control, like controlling the living from beyond the grave. I think about that. That it just keeps popping in my
Yeah,
head.
there's a lot
you know?
of spite in
Yeah,
that.
even if it's not,
It's the most spiteful thing I've ever heard of.
it's not controlling them to do anything, but it's like controlling how they feel about
yeah,
each other.
just like
after
like
the
a
fact.
like a big fuck you
Wow.
to everyone. Yeah, it was brutal. I mean, this is obviously secondhand, so if somebody hears this and they feel it was different, I'm sorry. I'm just recounting what I was
Yeah.
told. But yeah, whew, I'm
Speak
glad
your
I missed
truth,
that.
girl. Speak your truth.
Yeah, I'm glad I missed that. And
Wow.
I think about that as a really good example of what not to leave behind, you know, and also gave Adam all my passwords and stuff like that. Like, burn it, delete it all. I don't
Yeah.
want anyone going on my Facebook being like, R.I.P. Jasmine,
Ugh.
4 years after my death,
Ugh.
you know.
Nope.
So, if you did have a bunch of money, like as a individual, what would you do with it? Who would you leave it to?
Like on a more serious note,
Yeah.
I would probably still have a race. I would have.
It'd be fun to just do like a dumb
Like a
obstacle course at your funeral or something like that.
race.
Like yeah, like a three-legged race, and you just have it like just make it like a grand, and everyone at the funeral races, and then whoever
Yeah.
wins gets that grand.
I think
That's
like
pretty
if I
funny.
did
I
have
love that.
Yeah,
if
why
I did
not?
have like a vast estate, I'd still have like some kind of competition or race, but it would be people would be competing for like a charity of their choice. You know?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it would still be like a physical race.
Nice.
It would be like a foot race.
A charity of your choice. That's a classy way to do that.
It would be a foot race, and like just like the fastest people in the world can sign up, but they're not competing for themselves.
They're competing, yeah.
Yeah, it can be a personal charity. It can be like, I'm sure Usain Bolt's got some kind of charity. You know,
Yeah.
he's got something going on, probably.
I assume so.
Is he still the fastest guy?
Well, he probably won't be this next Olympic.
Yeah.
It's that Canadian runner that keeps on coming second.
We're pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
As far as that, like, 'cause,
Usain Bolt is like in his late 30s now.
yeah, he's getting up there.
So he's probably going to compete this next Summer Olympics, but probably not going to get first place.
What was the other Canadian guy? Donovan Bailey?
Yeah.
Can we talk a little bit more about our
Jeez,
rails?
we're bad at this. I just talked about it for like 2 minutes.
That's
I'm good.
It's the first episode all over
Yeah,
again.
Yeah.
we have to think about our own deaths, and that's hard.
My
Yeah.
own death.
Um,
I don't have enough to will anything right now in my death.
You see, that's the problem. That's what's
Yeah.
making
yeah,
this
that's
tricky.
this
is I
just
don't.
make it tricky. We don't have
it's hard to-
anything, and it's really easy for me because I would just be like, Adam owns everything.
Yeah.
So
Like I think all I would like my condition would be like my mom gets to decide what happens with the modest sum of money
so
and
she would
possessions
be your
I have.
executor,
Yeah.
or your
And
trustee.
then it's like, fuck, I got a lot of like audio equipment and computers and shit. Who needs a computer?
Just sell it, split the money between the siblings and
Or
parents.
just like if someone in the family needs a computer, to just take one of my many computers.
I do
you
feel
know?
that pressure to
Like
like
it-
designate my belongings though, because if there's specific things I want people to have, I don't want anyone fighting for it.
That's fair.
You know, I got a few little things, you know, like some rocks and some diamonds
Yeah.
that,
Aren't diamonds rocks,
Diamantes.
technically?
yeah, you know, but they're more valuable.
That's true.
You know, that maybe I should say who gets what if I want my sisters to have a piece of jewelry or something I have.
Yeah.
And I'm just worried about people fighting over shit.
Yeah.
That idea,
that's
that
fair.
idea, like disgusts me. The idea that people I respect fighting over my shit.
Yeah, I don't know that any of my family really would do that.
No
No.
one thinks that their family would do that, though. Like that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, they're like surely they'd have some taste and respect, and it's like, you'd be surprised.
I can't like I don't own anything that my parents or my sister would like really want that much. I think.
No, nothing sentimental though. Like there's some little things, you know, like that if you don't write about it, they could get overlooked or.
I mean, I think, like, we talked about this earlier. Like, I would do the art auction thing, or you just
Yeah,
do
the
an
art
all
auction's
up
a good
and then
idea.
Donate that money,
Yeah.
and then everything else like, would just be like G and his mom's. We'll just
Right.
leave them the stuff.
That makes sense.
You know,
Yeah.
whatever the $500 I have in my bank account or whatever,
Yeah.
and then
My
Comic book
$13,000 of debt. Here
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah, who do I want to
Enjoy.
have my dad? Do you want to
all right,
Roll.
guys.
just
Roll the outro.
I had to go have a cry.
Yeah.
Play us out, Jordan.
Well, thanks for listening, everybody. This
Thank
was
you.
we're back. Although you guys haven't missed a beat.
You guys don't notice.
Yeah.
Shit.
Please
I'm
forgive
kidding.
us for the
Kidding.
shit show.
Thanks for listening. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook at death.deathpod. Our email is death.deathpod@gmail.com. Anything else? You know, send us
Reach
an
out.
email, reach
Yeah.
out,
Suggest a
comments on some
topic,
stuff.
'cause
Yeah.
You know, we got a ton of topics we want to talk about, but we want to know what you guys want to talk about.
Yeah, what do you want to hear?
Yeah.
What do you think about when you
I
think
feel
about
like
death?
we're talking to like a specific
I'm
person.
looking at you, Mark. I don't. Is there a guy? Does
Yeah.
anybody know? I don't know.
Maybe. I know a couple marks. I don't think
yeah.
any of them listen, but
Yeah. Well,
shout out the marks I know.
if you're a Mark and you're listening, slide into our DMs.
Please.
Also, there was a really interesting comment on our disenfranchised grief.
Oh,
Post.
from Todd. Yeah.
Yeah.
So shout out to Todd.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks
you
for
for
reaching out,
telling us
Todd.
your story.
We really appreciated reading that.
Yeah,
it was nice to know that we reached someone on that level.
Yeah, it was really interesting, and I'm very grateful
So
that
if you want to read it, head over to our Facebook.
Yeah, head over to our Facebook, and
Yeah.
if you got your own stories and want to share with us,
Yeah.
please feel free.
Let us know because we love reading it.
Yeah, we're
true.
listening.
It's one of the reasons that we're doing this, right? Is to have a community response.
Yeah,
I
we
would
wanna
say
have a
it's the
conversation.
reason.
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean,
totally.
for me.
Yeah, so we're doing our part. Where are you guys?
Yeah.
Come
help
on.
us. You just get really volatile
Time to
and
start.
accusatory.
Time to start pulling your
Just
weight,
get
kids.
aggressive. Yeah,
Yeah.
we've been guiding this shit for too long.
Well,
All right.
All right, and as always, remember.
we're all gonna die.
Yay!
Yay.
Bye, guys. Thank you.